What's up, guys? Welcome back to Between the Pylons. I'm John Camacho. Thank you so much for watching. And guys, today we are talking about Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss. And guys, I am a huge fan of this wide receiver. I'm going to tell you that right now. He is honestly one of my favorite receivers in the class and was one of the biggest surprises for me. This is not a guy that I was really aware of until I started watching the film and kind of diving into the player himself. And honestly, after watching him, I don't understand why there hasn't been more buzz about him. I just haven't heard a lot about him. I think this is a guy who has gone really under the radar. Not exactly sure why, but let's dive right into it with the film portion of this video. And in this first play, we're going to see some really awesome route running and his ability to cut on the dime. Right there, you'll see him in the bunch set running that inside route and then cutting outside. And I mean, just creates so much space on this cut. You have to love the quickness, route running, his ability to cut on a dime. All of those things are very good with Elijah Moore. All things that they really excite me about his ability to play the game. Right here, we'll see him at the bottom of the screen facing some press coverage. He does a really good job of getting out of that, and just it's all about his quick feet here right off the jump, and then just kind of fakes him out, makes him think he's taking an outside release, and then cuts back inside because this is a slant route and it's actually an RPO for the quarterback. And so it's awesome that Elijah Moore is able to do all of this at the line and still be on time for the quarterback. He still ends up in the exact right spot, is able to bring that ball down. Corner can't tackle him, so he gets him even more yards. He's a very slippery receiver. He is tough to bring down in the open field. Very good in the open field. Very good route running here. Very good ability to beat press coverage. I will say one of his biggest negatives is his contact balance. I do think when NFL corners get their hand on him, it's kind of going to be over. That's going to happen. That's definitely an issue for his game. But in this particular situation, the quickness outweighed the corner's ability to kind of really get some hands on him and affect the play from that perspective. And then here we're going to see a really cool concept against man coverage. We'll see number 3 is rushing to get to the other side of the field because that's where he thinks Elijah Moore is going to be. Pulls the Tyreek Hill and goes the other way. Quarterback throws it to him in the flats, and then just what can you do with the ball in your hand? Yeah, he's really good with the ball in his hands. Very quick, again, able to cut up field, able to kind of dive under the tackle here. I don't know why I love that so much, but I do. Just right there at the end, dives under the 2 tacklers just for a couple extra yards and avoids contact. Gotta love that. Just very quick, very good with the ball in his hands. All of those things are a big plus. And then here again, we'll see more in the flats. See a corner looks like he's about to take his head off, but Elijah Moore is just so good at avoiding contact and making people miss in the open field. So he does that and is able to explode upfield for a first down. Again, just playmaking ability. That's what you gotta love about him. But on top of that, right here is just about his amazing hands. Elijah Moore has some of the best hands in the class. I mean, can catch things from every single angle. This particular play is able to go down to the bottom shelf, bring the ball in on a really tough pass, catches it with his fingertips, brings it in. And what's really awesome is he doesn't lose a bunch of speed bringing this in. Like, receiver has to kind of contort his body all the way, bring that ball down, and really one step and he's back to full speed. You gotta love that. It brings in a first down on third, or it was either second or third and long. Awesome playmaking ability. And then on this play, I threw this play in for a couple different reasons. One, I do like his ability to stretch the field, right? I don't think that's what he will be utilized the most. I think he's really good at the line of scrimmage, get the ball out to him quick and let him create yards. But that doesn't mean I don't think he can stretch the field a little bit. He certainly has the speed to do just that. What I love the most is how he finishes this catch and brings the ball in and takes a hit from number 9 and keeps on rolling. He took a bunch of massive hits in the Alabama game and never once dropped a ball. That was a big thing for me. His toughness, his ability over the middle of the field is going to be really good. I threw this in here because I wanted to show his long speed is there, but also his ability to hold on to the ball after contact, very good as well. And in this last play, this is something that kind of annoys me about Elijah Moore. You see it constantly when you watch the film. Now, first of all, does a really good job of feeling the zone coverage and finding an open area in the zone coverage. He's going to be really good at that. But see what he does when he catches the ball over the middle of the field. The first thing he does is run away from the first down marker. He's going to have to get coached out of this. You saw him do this a ton. See, he catches this at the 13, 14 yard line, and runs 15, 16, 17, his foot hits that 17-yard line right there before he starts going forward. I get why he does it. He's been an ultimate athlete at every level of his entire football playing career. At the NFL level, he's going to get in a lot of trouble doing this. I saw him do it a handful of times. And guys, I guarantee you, wherever he goes, whatever ends up happening, there is going to be some point in the 2021 season where he's going to catch a ball right at the sticks. He's going to run backwards away from the first down line, thinking he can make up the space and get even more yards, and it's going to backfire. The DBs and linebackers and all those guys in the NFL are just way too fast, and dude's going to give up a first down, and his entire fan base is going to be cussing his name. Guarantee that'll happen once or twice, then he'll kind of figure it out and he'll learn from it. Guys, I hope it showed in the film portion. There's really not a lot that I don't love about this dude. I mean, this is the guy. He's your discount Rondale Moore. He's your discount Kadarius Toney. If you don't get one of those guys and you're looking for that style of receiver, go get Elijah Moore. And to be honest, I think he's in the exact same tier as these guys. For me, like on my grades right now, which will change a little bit as some of the pro day information and things like that get into it. But right now, I have Kadarius Toney, Rondale Moore, and Elijah Moore right back to back to back on my grades. It's close. It's really, really close. Now, Kadarius Toney is a good bit ahead. Elijah Moore is definitely at that third spot right now. But man, I'm super excited about this player, and I think he's going to be a very, very interesting player that is in play in day 2, possibly even the second round. I really think he has a good chance to go in that range. I would be very surprised if he doesn't go in day 2. I really would. I think that's the type of guy we're talking about here today. But let's get into the skill portion of the video so I can kind of talk about it in a little bit different way. So first of all, route running at 6.2 is a very, very good grade for me. Nothing about his route running that I didn't think needed a whole lot of work, and you know, little things. I'm not saying he's perfectly technically refined, but things like that can get better as you get through the NFL. So I have no problem with that. I really like where he's at right now. Hands at 7.7. That's an elite grade for me. Dude catches everything. I mean, catches absolutely everything. Contested catches, you know, maybe high pointing the ball isn't his strength by any means, and we'll get to that in just a second, but his ability to catch the ball and then immediately take on contact is second to none, really. I mean, I fell in love with the amount of times he took a hit as he was catching the ball, and he holds on the ball every single time, especially for a guy who's probably going to be utilized over the middle a whole lot in the NFL. Athleticism at a 4.8. Listen, I put that down because like he's quicker than he is just like a pure physical freak athlete, right? He's a quick, twitchy guy. His quickness is a 6.8, but that's kind of the difference between those two spots there. Like I said, quickness is right there, right under the elite level. And honestly, if you said in the comments that you think it should be higher, I really wouldn't disagree with you a whole lot. It's at 6.8 for me, but I mean, I have no problem if people are going to sit there in the comments and say, hey, he's an elite quickness type of guy. I get it. Contested catch at a 4.9. Look, still a positive grade. That's not what you're going to ask him to do. Like I mentioned in the film portion of the video, you're not going to ask him to go deep every play. You're not going to ask him to play that style of football. That's not the receiver you really want him to be, but he can do it. He certainly can. I do believe he can stretch the field at times. You know, depending on the system he goes into, how much he's going to be asked to do that, I don't know. Again, I think I like him the most near the line of scrimmage. Get him the ball in space and see what he can do. That type of guy. And then, you know, the short dump off type of passes, short to mid range is I think where he's going to make his money. But he can certainly stretch the field as well. I have no questions about his speed or anything along those lines. Yak at a 6.9, right under elite. Love his ability to create after the catch. Cut and change of direction is 6.3. Another really good grade. This is a guy who was used as a running back a lot. He got the opportunity with the ball in his hands, and he really was able to show just how dynamic he is with his change of direction skills. And then obviously that does feed into Yak a little bit as well. Route tree at a 5. It's really interesting because he was utilized all over the field. Ole Miss put him in a bunch of different positions, which is, you know, something I love to see. I think you're supposed to do that with some of your big playmakers. The thing is, depending on where he was lined up on the field, you could kind of guess the route he was going to run. It wasn't a huge variance in the amount of routes he ran. And then on top of that, he was utilized in the run game a little bit. He was utilized as just like a swing pass type of thing, not really a route. So the route tree isn't as robust as you'd obviously like coming into the league. But at the end, I put it at a 5 because I think it's fine. I think it'll be all right moving forward. Contact balance, yeah, this is a smaller dude. I mentioned it before. If guys get a hand on him, it's gonna push him off of his route. He's gonna be bumped off his route. Things like that are gonna happen. I get it. It's definitely something that bugs me with just any wide receiver. Contact balance, I think, is a really underutilized thing to look at. I think contact balance is, for example, the reason that John Brown isn't like an elite wide receiver in the NFL. He gets moved off his routes too easily, and he's not dynamic in that way. So contact balance, I do think is a crippling thing if you're not able to get it, and it's not crippling to the sense that it makes you a bad player. I think it just limits your elite upside, I guess I would say. I think that's maybe the best way to say it. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that. That's just kind of my take right now, what I've noticed recently, just watching NFL and college guys over the past couple of years. Moving on, body control at a 5, very good. Had no issues with that at all. Release as 6.5, a very, very good grade for me. I showed the one play where he was able to beat man coverage and hit that slant route. He's able to do that. He's very, very good off the line, and even when he's not contested, he's really, really quick. He just has quick feet. He's an explosive guy, so all of those things kind of lend itself to a really good release. So I had no issue with that. And then blocking it at 5.2, look, just another positive grade. A lot to like about his ability to block. Again, I think that's something that teams that look at that a whole lot. The 49ers come to mind as a team that really, really grades your ability to block because their entire game is predicated on their ability to run the ball and then pass off of that. So they need wide receivers that can run really, really good routes, but also block really, really well. I think, maybe that team is going to look at Elijah Moore and be like, man, the blocking is not as good as we'd like it to be, but it's workable. We can coach that into them. I think that's kind of the situation we're looking at. It's good. It can get better, but hey, that's where we're at right now. Looking at Elijah Moore in the context of this class, I do believe he is a locked and loaded top 10 receiver in this class. I have him somewhere between 5 and 10. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, he is kind of in that tier right along with the Kadarius Toney and the Rondale Moore. And then I think it is Elijah Moore right after that. All three of those guys, similar style, not the same, but similar style guys that I think fit that type of slot receiver style mold and really are gonna be very, very interesting guys that are in play on day 2. Now, look, I understand that might be a shock to some people who maybe had never heard of him. Personally, it was a shock to me. As I mentioned, this is a big surprise for me, but I'm gonna stand by it. I can see a lot of different teams falling in love with him. I mentioned the 49ers. The 49ers are a team, like, he fits that style of wide receiver that the 49ers like. It would make sense that maybe the 49ers at the end of round 2 want to add another receiver. They spent a lot of day 1, day 2 picks on the wide receiver position, so I'd be kind of surprised if they went back to that well so soon. But that's a name that makes a whole lot of sense to me. There's a lot of teams that I think can find a use for him. This is my guy, man. This is like the guy in the wide receiver conversation that I'm the most excited about, and I love finding those diamonds in the rough, man. Like, personally, I hope my team gets him in the 3rd round. Like, that's just value plus talent. I am excited. This is a guy that I would look at if you're in dynasty or rookie drafts and things like that in fantasy football. I have no idea where this guy's going. I have no idea about his ADP. I state that right now. I don't do that research for these types of videos, but check it out, look it up, see where he's at. Because if he's going in like the 3rd round, the 4th round of fantasy drafts, he is an absolute steal. I 100% believe in the talent. I'm telling you, he belongs right next to the names of Rondale Moore, of Kadarius Toney. Bigger names that I have him ranked ahead. Rashad Bateman is one. I have him higher than Rashad Bateman, and I don't think it'll be close. I have him higher than Amon-Ra St. Brown, another kind of bigger name that I feel like a lot of people are talking about. But guys, that is my take on Elijah Moore. Thank you so much for watching. If you have made it this far, please consider hitting that subscribe button and liking this video. It really helps out the channel. I am a small channel right now, but I am growing. I think I'm putting out some really good stuff, and I think over the next year or two, this channel is just absolutely going to skyrocket, and I expect some big things ahead. Guys, come on the journey with me. But all right, I'll leave you alone. Peace out.